We often talk about cybersecurity in these really abstract terms: firewalls, threats, the cloud. But what does a real world battle plan actually look like? Well, today we're going to tear one down. We've gotten our hands on a real deal specification document, and we're going to deconstruct it to see exactly how a modern organization builds its digital fortress. So picture this. You're in charge of security for an organization. You've got hundreds of devices out there, laptops, mobile phones, the whole shebang, all connecting to sensitive data all the time. How do you possibly defend all of that? Yeah, this isn't some theoretical exercise. This is the exact challenge laid out in the blueprint we're digging into. So what's the answer? Well, it's not just buying some new software or a fancy firewall. The solution is a complete integrated strategy, a meticulously detailed blueprint for defense. So let's start breaking it down.
Okay, so the heart of this whole strategy is building what's called a Security Operations Center, or a SOC for short. I want you to think of it like a NASA mission control room, but instead of tracking rockets, they're hunting for hackers 24/7. But here's the twist. They're not trying to do it all by themselves. The plan calls for a co-managed model, where they bring in an expert supplier to work side by side with their internal IT team, like a single unified force.
All right, so every good fortress needs strong walls and high-tech sensors, right? So what's actually powering this mission control? Let's get into the digital nuts and bolts. Okay, this is pretty clever. This is the core of their whole tech strategy. Instead of going out and buying a dozen different security tools from different companies, they're being super smart about it. They're going to squeeze every drop of value out of what they already own: their Microsoft 365 E5 license. This entire fortress is built on this one integrated stack of tools, covering everything from laptops and email to cloud apps and user identities. At the very center of this whole operation is a tool with a kind of clunky name, a SIEM. But the idea is actually super simple. Think of the SIEM as the central security dashboard. It's like the one giant screen that pulls in feeds from every single digital security camera in your entire organization, every laptop, every server, every login attempt, and puts it all in one place. And in this plan, that command center is Microsoft Sentinel. Right, but seeing an alert is one thing. What happens when an alarm actually goes off? You've got to act, and you've got to act fast. That's where SOAR comes in. If the SIEM is the smoke detector, then SOAR is the automatic fire sprinkler system. It's a set of pre-approved automated actions or playbooks that can instantly do things like lock down a hacked account or quarantine a virus without even waiting for a human to click a button. But look, tech is only ever half the story, right? A fortress is pretty useless without the guards on the wall, the skilled people who can actually interpret the alarms and make those tough calls. And this blueprint puts the human element right at the center. And this slide really breaks down how that partnership works. And it's not just about, handing off your security to someone else. The external supplier handles that relentless 24/7 monitoring and the immediate firefight. But the internal team, Care and Housing's team, they bring the context. They know their own people, their data, and what's normal versus what's suspicious. It's a true collaboration. And, the document itself says it perfectly. The goal isn't to hire a vendor, it's to build an extension of their own team. The SOC has to be proactive, collaborative, and feel like they're just down the hall, not some faceless service sending automated emails. And check this out. This is a little detail in the plan that I think is just brilliant. The plan explicitly says no call center style communication. This means when everything's on fire, you are not talking to a robot or someone reading from a script. You get a real human expert on the line right away. That's absolutely crucial in a crisis. Okay, so we've got the tech, we've got the people, but what happens when the alarms really start blaring? What happens when a real attack gets through? Well, the blueprint lays out a precise clockwork response for that exact moment. First things first, not all alerts are created equal. They get classified. And we're going to focus on the absolute worst-case scenario here, a P1 critical incident. This is the oh no moment. We're talking an active compromise. Maybe ransomware is spreading, or a hacker is literally pulling your data out the digital door. When this happens, a clock starts ticking. The second that P1 alert fires, a stopwatch starts. The SOC has just 10 minutes. 10 minutes to look at the alert and confirm, yep, this is the real deal, this is an emergency. And that clock does not stop. Within 30 minutes, just 30 minutes from that confirmation, containment actions have to begin. That means isolating machines, blocking the attacker, the digital firefight has started. And get this, Within a single hour, 60 minutes of confirming that attack, the organization's leadership gets the call. Think about that speed. In just 1 hour, you can go from one little automated blip on a screen to a full-blown human-led incident response.
So you might be asking, how on earth can they move that fast? Well, this is where that SOAR automation we talked about becomes absolutely crucial. For something like a hacked account, a pre-built playbook just runs. Instantly. Bam! The user's laptop is kicked off the network. Bam! All their login sessions are killed. Any malicious emails they might have sent are automatically found and deleted. This all happens in seconds, before a human analyst has even finished reading the first alert. So when you put it all together, the tech, the people, these lightning-fast procedures, what's the real takeaway here? What does a comprehensive defense system like this actually deliver? Now, you're probably thinking a 24/7 service like this has got to cost a fortune, right? But the budget laid out in the document is for under £90,000, and that's for the entire initial 3-year contract. I mean, just think about it. Trying to hire enough of your own security analysts to cover every hour of every day, that would cost way more than this. It just shows how being smart with existing licenses makes this level of security surprisingly accessible. So for that investment, what do you actually get? It's not just a box of software, that's for sure. You get a fully built security command center, a team of experts on call 24/7, automated defenses that kick in minutes, proactive hunters looking for threats, and a real partnership that's always getting better. And all of this really brings us to one final crucial question. When you look at the incredible level of detail in a plan like this, from the tech to the response times to the human collaboration, it really makes you stop and ask yourself, is our own security built on a deliberate, detailed blueprint like this one, or are we just kind of hoping for the best?